go global? That is the question. In the last episode of our Education for All series, we're talking about the differences between traditional Chinese classrooms and international programs for secondary school students.
I don't think that an international school is any less rigorous in its presentation of the knowledge.
In the traditional school, students have more solid foundation for these subjects.
Once you get out of the Chinese system, you can never make
Go
it
back.
for Gaokao.
The idea is, how is education going to start to provide different pathways for kids?
Coming up soon. Stay tuned. Welcome to Culture Matters. Well, the spring semester of school is well underway. So today we're going to be continuing our Education for All series and talking about secondary school education, both in traditional Chinese environments and also more international programs. But before we invite our guests on, let's take a look at our educational observations video to find out more. As the interest in studying abroad grows, an increasing number of international secondary schools are springing up, and more families are standing at a crossroads. Should we keep our students on a local school track, or enroll them in international schools and programs to better prepare them for future studies? At the same time, the strength of traditional Chinese education is keeping the rest of the world on its toes, as Shanghai students keep getting the top scores on various global tests and surveys. These outstanding results inspired Britain's Education Minister and South Africa's Minister of Basic Education to come to Shanghai to check out what's going on in Shanghai's local schools. What are the pros and cons of all these different kinds of schools? What to choose in the age of choice? Let's find out more in today's show. Let's invite our first guest, Ryan, who's a 9th grader at YK Pao School. All right.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So Ryan, have you always been at YK Pao School, or did you start in a more traditional system?
I started off from a traditional Chinese school, but I entered YK Pao School when I was in year 7.
So you've been there for about 2 years?
Right.
So tell us about your classmates. Are they all Chinese? Is there a mix of Chinese and foreigners? What's it like?
Most of the students are Chinese.
Okay. And what about your friends? Are they mostly Chinese, or are they from different countries?
I have friends from all over the world.
Oh, very cool. What about when it comes down to language? I mean, do you speak English in every single class, or are there certain classes that are taught in Chinese?
Right now, in year 9, we're doing IGCSE. Most of the classes are taught in English except for Chinese class.
Was it difficult when you first got there to start speaking English all the time?
Yeah, it was quite difficult at the beginning, but after a while, I felt more comfortable to speak English.
Well, we actually have another guest joining us, so let's welcome Eileen, who went to a high school affiliated with Fudan University. Hey, Eileen.
Hi,
Thanks for joining us.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Eileen.
Hi, Ryan.
So, Eileen, what about you? Were you in a traditional Chinese system your entire life for all of your education?
Yeah,
What were your classmates like? How many people were in your class?
approximately, I think it's around 35. And I was
35.
in a very special class, which is called in Chinese 人文班.
So what were your teachers like? Were they pretty traditional Chinese teachers?
Yeah, they're all Chinese teachers. They're fabulous.
Okay. Well, how did they teach English at your high school? I mean, did you just have one class each day, or did you have other methods of learning English? Because your English is quite good.
I actually would like to express my thankfulness to my high school because they got very fabulous teachers. I like my professor, English professor, a lot. She gave me lots of opportunities, like recommend me to participate in various kinds of English talent competitions. And it is an outside resource, but within the recommendation of high school affiliate to Fudan University.
Sure, it's to like motivate you to do more. And do you have any special language learning programs at your school?
Our high school got a program called Student Development Program, which was sponsored by Cambridge University. And luckily I was in, and there's 20 students there, and we got a foreign professor teaching us critical thinking skills, entrepreneur skills, creative thinking skills, etc. And also like teamwork and leadership, which was taught in English, authentic English, and that does help a lot.
I guess you guys wouldn't know because you haven't gone to each other's schools, but how would you compare coursework or homework or tests? I mean, did you prepare for the Gaokao? You
yeah.
did. Are you preparing for the Gaokao?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. What are you doing?
The IGCSE curriculum, in year 11, we'll do the IB curriculum.
Okay, so kind of different tracks. Do you think you guys had the same amount of homework? I mean, if you were in the same grade now, 9th grade, do you think that the backpacks would be as heavy?
Our homework is not as little as other people would thought. We still have a pretty tight schedule. There is an hour-and-a-half study hall each night, but often we will need more time than that.
Was that similar when you were 9th grade?
9th grade, everyone is fighting for the recommendation to go to a very good high school.
Busy.
Lot of homework, yeah, definitely.
Right. Well, we actually went into both a local traditional system and also an international system to see what the students had in their backpacks. So let's take a look at our educational scenario. To find out how much the backpack of an average secondary school student weighs and what's inside, we first went to a traditional Chinese school to check it out. The heaviest one we found was 8 kilograms.
这是5个文件夹，然后呢，每个文件夹里装的都是不同的科目，这样有助于提高自己的学习效率。
这个呢是，比如说有时候随笔啊、散文，有时候无聊时候写写小说什么的。学校里一直考试有作文嘛，格式比较单一，但是我比较喜欢畅所欲言的那种，所以呢，我就在课余时间，然后写在这本本子上。
这本不是世界史的，对，不是世界史的，对，不是世界史的，对，这才是它真正的。比较符合我们做化学时候的那种心理，黑漆漆的，然后又有点白花花的那种。
看着就很精致的一本英语的笔记本，然后这边有一些标签纸，让我更快速的找到一些重要的知识点。比如说这个标签纸是直接是一翻就可以翻到那个语法部分。每天英语课上好，我都会记点新的单词或者新的知识点在上面。
We also visited an international school in Shanghai. Will the backpacks be as heavy? The heaviest one we found was 7.94 kilograms.
This is like we read books and we do comprehensions and book reviews. You use the timelines, T-chart to do this. This is the color pen and I can draw something like in the poster. Sometimes teacher will ask me to draw some poster in the chemistry lesson or English.
This is that magazines I like very much. These schools give it to us in humanities class. Taught you about geographies and lots of things about the world.
You spotted a book that you knew in there.
Yeah.
Which one?
The notebook one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything look familiar to you?
The history posters our students did.
What about, any differences in the presentation of what was inside the backpacks? You saw one student with a very organized English grammar book. Do you keep such organized notes? Did you when you had English class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that most of the traditional Chinese students did.
All right, so
as
the
long
school
as you want to achieve high grades.
It wasn't so much you as the school really encouraged you to keep such detailed organization. What about at YK Pao School?
Yeah, our teacher also require us to take notes on every lesson.
Okay. And what about in the classroom? Is it more of like a lecture style lesson or is it more of a debate? Is it a classroom discussion? Does it depend on the subject? How would you describe a typical class?
There is a teacher lecturing, but we also do group discussions and do presentations. In science class, we do all sorts of experiments.
Okay, so hands-on learning. Similar at your high school?
We emphasize a lot on lecture teaching because we consider it as more efficient because teacher can tell you his knowledge or her knowledge as much as he can.
Yeah, you don't always want to listen to your classmates, what they have to think or say about a certain subject. The general consensus is that the traditional Chinese system is very good at teaching the basics, the lecture style, memorization, getting it down, very solid. But maybe the Western system is better at teamwork or presentations or individual research. Do you agree with that? Because so much emphasis is put on the Gaokao and teaching to the test. Did you miss out on some of these other classroom lessons?
Might consider as a cliche, but I do want to bring it out because everything is like a double-edged sword because everyone emphasizes a lot on our 分数, our grades. So everyone is very careful and diligent. We have to force ourselves to be as efficient as we can. So we are modest because we help each other a lot. There's also teamwork, but it's usually after class. If someone is better at mathematics and the other English, we kind of mutual support and help each other.
And you decide to do that as students. The teacher doesn't tell you to pair up.
But that's all driven by if you can achieve higher grades, because grades does matter a lot in traditional Chinese system. Meanwhile, I think that it cultivates our modesty and our respect for teachers and our diligence, which I thought would be very profound significance to my life.
How did it do that, though? I mean, you say it helped with the modesty and respect for teachers, but how exactly?
In a more Western international classroom, students have any question, you just raise your hands and spit it out. In a more traditional Chinese education system, we are better advised to listen, and after the professor finishes his talking, then you propose a question. So that is a kind of respect.
Did you guys have the same courses? I mean, was it math, Chinese, English? Did you have any other courses?
Yeah, I got ceramics class.
Ceramics also. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I was in the singing choir, so music class.
Okay, during the school day?
Yeah, and sports.
Which sport?
I played basketball. I was on school basketball team.
Very cool. Ryan?
Each of us has a optional course, which are art, music, drama, and computer science. The one I chose is drama. It is kind of fun. After school, we have an hour of activity time and an hour of sports time every day.
So they don't sound so different after all. I mean, the only difference is, from what I'm hearing, is that you prepare for the Gaokao, you're doing an IB curriculum, but other than that, completely the same?
I don't think so. I think there must lie some difference. More often I see that traditional Chinese education system, that there's only one kind of elective course. The course are usually fixed for each student, no matter you are majoring like humanity or science more in the future. I don't know whether it's the same or not.
We don't think that we should be focused more on one thing rather than others. We have to work hard on every subject instead of majoring in one particular subject.
But going back to what Eileen was saying about the traditional values, I think that's an interesting. Do you feel as if you've been introduced to more like Western values?
I'm not sure if I'm more Western, but school gives me the opportunity to be more exposed to different cultures.
Do you feel as if you're missing out on your kind of Chinese identity or values because you're this more international program? How is your school emphasizing the Chinese culture?
We have this Chinese New Year celebration each year, so we basically spend a whole day watching some performances.
What do you think is the best thing you've gained from your education at this international school?
There's many things I gained from my education. There is teamwork and also passion for learning. It makes me more confident. I think this program has changed me a lot. For example, I might not have so much chance to develop independence if I were in a traditional Chinese school.
Eileen, what's the thing you're most grateful for from your secondary education?
I think that's diligence and efficiency. That's the two things influenced me a lot. It will be very beneficial for me to bring these two qualities together to NYU Shanghai.
Well, good luck to you both the rest of your semesters this year. We're going to take a quick break, so check out our Weixing and Weibo account. And when we come back, talk to some more educators about the traditional Chinese, the international side, and also this fusion. So we'll be right back.
In the traditional school, students will have more solid foundation for these subjects.
Maybe it won't get you into the top one, but at least opens doors.
The traditional classrooms are losing their best students. Welcome back to Culture Matters. We've been talking about second school education as part of our Education for All series. So to tell us more, let's welcome our next guest, who is the principal of the secondary division of YK Pao School, Tony Jakachi. Hello.
Hi.
Is that okay? Close enough to the
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Tony Jakachi, Executive Principal of YK Pao School Secondary Division, has extensive experience with boarding school education. A graduate of Harvard University, Jakachi was a teacher and administrator for over 13 years at St. George's School, a boarding school in Rhode Island. So Tony, you work at YK Pao School. How long has it been around?
We're in our 7th year, began in 7th year, 2007. At that time, the grade 3 students are now our grade 9 students. 1 year at a time. 2017 will be fully open.
So how many students are enrolled at the secondary division total?
We have 370 students from grades 6 through 9.
Okay, and how many in each class?
No more than 25.
No more than 25?
That's right.
And then what about the student body? Mostly Chinese? Is it a mix of Chinese nationals and foreign passport holders?
Well, it's